Hey everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. We're back. Hello, Roxy. She's new to the lifeboat. First time to catch you, Tommy, live. Well, we're glad that you're here, Roxy. Welcome. So, my esteemed colleague from Australia and I made it back to the house just recently, and I cleaned up, showered, ate a meal, and I wanted to pop in and sort of reflections on the weekend, because this was a very interesting weekend, obviously, for the lifeboat. Going out and seeing the the Danny Masterson sentencing was absolutely incredible. It really was. We're blown away at the fact that we got in. Squirrel will definitely make an appearance. I was having squirrel withdrawals as well, so you'll get to see Squirrel. The fact that we got in was absolutely amazing. The fact that we got in kept out a bunch of other people that were there trying to get in. They got about 15 or 16 of us was the total number of people, other than press and family, and the people that do what do they call those people?
The sketch artists.
Sketch artists, forensic sketch artists, the people that, because there were no pictures allowed in the courtroom, they had several ladies that were drawing out each of the scene. They were in there, but just people who were visiting that were allowed to go in there and sit in the gallery. It was a really small number, and we were number 12 and 13 going in, and had an opportunity to sit down with some people who were fans of SB TV. It was fantastic to meet all of the people that are fans. It was everybody was so friendly and so kind. It was awesome. The one person we didn't get to meet is the guy that's always talking mad trash about us. He didn't want to come out. He knew where we were going to be, but apparently he didn't want to see us. He wanted to wait for a day or two and then say, "Oh, you were supposed to come see me at lunch." Everybody knew where we were going to be. You know what I mean? Where we were going to be was not something that was flexible. Lord Kiss Freak, 8 months. Oh, he's been here so much longer than that. Lord Kiss Freak is one of the original founders here on the lifeboat. Love you, brother. Appreciate you. I really do. Thank you, Mel. It's good to be home and safe. It really is. Puffinator, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're here live. So, the takeaways from this weekend or from this trip, I think the biggest takeaway for me on this is kind of twofold. First off, there's a lot of talk about how evil this organization is, or how evil they aren't, and people talk and speculate. Let's be really honest. There wouldn't be the number of views that there were if people weren't fascinated by Scientology. And the reason that people are fascinated by Scientology is because of the things that they do are so far off of the norm. They are so far away from what is accepted in society that we find it fascinating. We can't look away. And so that being said, seeing these people in real life was an unusual experience. And I don't mean the people who have become SP, right? The people who have dropped out. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to the people who are still in. It is fascinating to look at these people. And I'm just being 100% honest. They got the strangest look. They really do. It's a very, very bizarre thing. If you had walked into the courtroom and you had been able to get basically in front of the bench, the bar rather. So you would be sitting up between the judge and the attorneys. If you were to look out at the gallery, and I were to say to you, there's about 15 people in this room that are in a cult. Where are they at? I promise you would have had no problem going right there. I promise you would have had no problem. It was that was something that really kind of stuck with me. They really did have there was a look that was just odd, really, really odd. And I found it bizarre. The other takeaway is the Jane Does. I did a video, maybe about 3 weeks ago now, where I said that these ladies were my heroes. And I had zero perspective. I really didn't. I thought that the courage that it took to come forward in the face of what they were presented with. This is for anybody. forget the fact that they had the Church of Scientology to deal with as well. But just to come forward, period, is takes a tremendous amount of courage. And I got to see that courage. Alan did as well. We got to sit and watch that courage live as they got up and faced the person that did this, and and read their impact statements, which were, I'll tell you what, I've said this already a couple of times. I'm not going to ever read any of those on here. I don't think it's my place in any way. I would feel really messed up reading any of that on here, because I think you miss a lot if you don't hear it from them, if you don't hear it out of their mouths, so to speak. And being there when this went down was, we were in tears. And I don't think that there was anybody in that room that wasn't, honestly, at least away from, the Scientology section. I don't think there was anybody in that room that didn't have tears in their eyes. It was that heavy. It really was. It was that heavy. And they just did it with class and with dignity. And the words alone were incredible, but the way that they were delivered, and Jane Doe number one, they were all incredible, but Jane Doe number one, absolutely. I broke down her. It was incredible. It really was. Came over from Ron's channel. Love your vids. Thanks for all you do. My first super chat. Awesome. Bonnie, thank you so much. And welcome to the boat. Really appreciate you. Mr. Ray Ray has a friend from Australia. He says he loves kangaroo tail. Have you ever eaten kangaroo tail?
Yes, I have.
He has. He says it smells like stroming. This is no lie, right? We were hanging out. Buddhist beer. Thank you so much. Can I send a postcard to you to say thanks? Buddhist beer. Yeah, absolutely. You can send a postcard to me. Do me a favor. Send me an email, and I will. And we can correspond. sober@myyahoo.com, please. And thank you so much. So watching them get up and do what they did, it was incredible. One of the other takeaways too was that this judge was just about as professional. She was a rock star. The way that she handled everything was just incredible. The one complaint I had on the entire affair was that Danny Masterson came in wearing a suit, and the story goes that his family had brought that suit down, and they begged and pleaded and made a scene and said, don't make him go out there dressed like this and blah, blah, blah. And they let that man. And I know that it was a shot to the Jane Does who thought it's happening all over again, right? They're letting this guy, they're letting him use his fame to, to not have to do things the way other people had to do them. And that's kind of what brought everybody together that day. You know what I mean? So I think that was a real frustration. There's the cat. I think that was a real frustration for the Jane Does. It was an honor to meet them. It really was. It was a huge honor to meet the Jane Does. And we got a chance to meet their significant others who were rock stars. Every last one of them, I swear to you, rock stars. Jane Doe one's husband walked by, and on the way in, he's a big dude. He's a really, really big dude. Fat Cats. Thank you, Fat Cats. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. More integrity in prison or Scientology? Here's the deal. I'm a never in, right? So I was never in Scientology. People talk a lot about integrity in prison and about the the convict code and all of that. And the truth of the matter is, man, there is definitely a code in prison, right? There's a code in prison, but it's not what people. No, they're slime bags one way or the other. The vast majority really are. And then the life that they live in there and the hate and all of that, it's a toss up. Honestly, it's probably a toss up. If I had to hang out with a group of them who, if they were active, I'd probably go with convicts, in all honesty. Although, getting a chance to meet the people that have left, we met other content creators. Last night, we went out with Ron. We went to the Roosevelt Hotel where we did a little bowling and a little eating. And I do mean a little eating because somebody did a lot of eating. Look, I got to do it. And here's the good news. He doesn't watch the channel. So you've never seen anybody eat like AA Ron. I'm not kidding you. The man's a trencherman. He should eat for competition. I've never seen anybody in my life eat like this man. I was joking with him about it and giving him crap, and it did not slow him down. The man can eat. But we went out with AA Ron, and we went out with from Degraded Daughters of Dianetics. We went out with Vanessa, who was just a lot of fun. Just a great girl. We had a really good time with her. And we also had with us an absolute one of a kind. Laura from Laura FM was out with us as well. And Laura's a rock star, like for real. She's in a band, and she just kind of lives like a rock star. She has that look and that kind of feel about her. She was a lot of fun. It was great to be out with them. You know, you don't really meet people. You do, and you build relationships, and you know them really well. But when you see them in person, it's just it really is a unique thing. And it's bizarre because everybody there is a content creator. So I watched all these people, and these people watched me, and we all felt like we knew each other, but we had never met. It was a fun night. It really was. We had a really, really good time. And it was an honor. You know, it really was. It was an honor. But as I was saying, on the way into the courtroom, Jane Doe 1's husband sort of stopped right next to me. I was standing with Alan. You were not allowed to leave your place in line. You had a number right on the back of a ticket, and we were 11 and 12. So we were right, in line. Now he had a press pass. He was there with family. So as he's turning the corner to go in, he stops directly next to me, and he's huge. He's the big, one of the bigger guys you'll come across. He's a very big guy, but he gives me this huge wink and a grin, and then walked by, and Alan goes, "You know that guy?" And I said, I don't know who he is. I said, he doesn't look familiar. I said, but he certainly seemed to know me. And it was funny because when AA Ron introduced us, he said, "Man, I'm sorry. I don't usually wink at strange people." He said, but we watch you all the time on Aaron's channel. They were just really, really kind people. Hi, Alan, says Stone Lux. Lux, we're glad you're here. Lux put a comment up earlier saying that she feels blessed to be accepted here. We feel blessed to have you, Lux. I'm glad that you're here. I mean that. I got to go back and do this because this has now really been driving me crazy for a really long time. CK. Are you a CK from a long time ago that changed the name? Huh? Cultivate Kindness. Is that you, CK? If it is, I would love to know. Balake. Good to see you, Balake. So yeah, the biggest takeaways for me were the judge was incredible. But the absolutely the biggest takeaway was the fact that these women are heroes. I know I got angry on an earlier video because there are just idiots out there that say the stupidest things in the entire world, and it can drive you nuts. And I'm gonna back off. I'm not gonna respond to these people. I'm not. It's difficult when after watching what they went through. This is not something that you have to understand, that sitting in this chair, you talk to a lot of people who are victims of SA because it drives so many people to use. It causes so many people to go down the rabbit hole of addiction that this is nothing new. I mean, in terms of the lifeboat, there are so many people who have been victims of that type of assault. It's hideous. And to hear people try to belittle it, or people do the alleged this and alleged that, one last time, this cat said I did it, right? Elocution. This man sat down at an arbitration with people there taking notes and said everything he did, right? You can look at this any way you want. That's what it comes down to, right? We were sitting in there. We got to hear what he said. And there's no mistaking it. I mean, I understand some of you are just, stooges for the church, and that's all good, man. I mean, I understand if this is something that means that much to you, that you're just going to go after people. But there's absolutely nothing. Yes, we did get to meet Leah. She was directly in front of us. Actually, sat with the Jane Does there for support, and beautiful woman, lovely woman. It was. And it was just bizarre. That the whole thing was just surreal. It really was. It really, really was. The troll of the hole is paying a lot of web trolls to attack. all he has. That's him. You know what? That's always going to be that way, people. And you know what? Those that have been supporters of me in the lifeboat, it's not going to change. Those people will always be there. We're going to have, yesterday or today, people, we brought in 1,250 subscribers. That does not happen in huge channels. When it happens to a channel the size of the boat, look, squirrel. When it happens to a channel the size of the boat, Cindy, okay, I'm sorry, CK. We had a CK that kind of disappeared. I've been really worried about her, and so I thought maybe you were her. But welcome, Cindy. I'm glad that you're here. Now we know. See? No, you know what? We were debating it in the car, CK. Yeah. No, I wasn't sure either. Hey, KD, good to see you. One of the Janes stated that, yes, Rosie, this is an absolute fact. She says, let me blow this up here. She wrote, I heard one of the Jane Does stated that he got off hearing her recount the details. How evil is that to get off on the pain that she was in? And that is a fact. That is a fact. And this came out in the, we were there for this. Degraded daughters of Dianetics. We'll all be darned. We were just talking about you. It was a pleasure to hang out with you in person last night. So many laughs. Glad you two made it home safe. Let's do a live together soon. Vanessa, I promise. I look forward to that. I was talking about that on the way home with Alan. We're absolutely going to do that. Violet Gypsies, thanks for setting the record straight and standing up for truth and consequences. Thanks, Violet. It's a really nice thing to say. And thank you, Vanessa. Vanessa is such a sweetheart. You cannot imagine. She really is she was so much fun and knows the area. And we were at the Roosevelt. That's the pool that the famous picture of Marilyn Monroe is in the deep end of that pool. So it was amazing. It really was. We had a lot of laughs, and I look forward to doing some content creating with Vanessa. She's fantastic. So it was the entire trip was an honor and at every turn, it was humbling beyond belief. We were in a dead panic. We got there at 5:30 in the morning, people. Yeah, this trial started at 9. They started to let people in at 7. We got there at 5. And if we weren't there at 5:30, we wouldn't have got in. I mean, plain and simple. We needed to be there that early in order to be one of the people that actually made it into the courthouse. Jason, it's a great comment. It's a great comment. It really is. He says, don't forget, guys, these ladies will continue to need support as time goes on. The cult is not going to stop this BS. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. I mean, they were rude, and in the good night, Johnny. They were rude in the courthouse. I mean, there was a woman screaming at Leah as she was walking out, yelling, "Don't you talk to me!" I didn't hear Leah try to talk to her, but this woman just started yelling, "Don't you talk to me! Don't you talk to me!" It's super, super contentious. Everything there, full of hope. Good to see you. Super contentious. Everything between the parties. I'll be honest. I thought there was something. All of his people, everyone that was coming in to be with the defense, showed up at about 8:30. And there were, I would say, 70 to 90 people standing in the hallway with tickets, and they brought in 15. So there were a lot of people that did not get an opportunity to go in there and watch all of the proceedings, a bunch of proceedings. It was not just the trial. There were motions and everything else. Does Danny Masterson get shipped out right away to his new home? And when do we find out where he will be sent? We're going to be finding that out, Melissa. I would imagine in the next couple of weeks. Traditionally, in my experience, you get about 7 to 14 days and you're guaranteed gone, right? There is a schedule of buses that go at all time. In the parlance of prison talk, it's referred to as catching the train. KD, looking good. Over 8,000 subs now. Congrats to the boat. KD, you as well, and everybody else that has been really, really solid for a really, really long time. We did a lot of live feeds for 7 or 8 people. So it's to everybody that that stuck around and helped us when we weren't. It's really easy to do this when there's 1,000 people coming on board a day. It's a little tougher to do it when you get 6 people in 60 days. But you guys, the people on the lifeboat did an amazing job. Do me a favor. Get rid of him.
Who's that?
Sasquatch Hunter. Sasquatch Hunter, I'm terribly sorry. I really am. Goodbye. All right. I'm sorry. The how that entire thing went down. I truthfully, I'm not going to do this right now. I'm not, but I'm also not going to have you leaving comments. I'm sorry. Feel free to watch. For how much harassment I've been experiencing was surprisingly eerie when flaming SPS were out near the most elite bases last night. What? You didn't get footage? Well, that would have been the thing to do. Yankee Kyle, congratulations, man. Did you see that, everybody? Yankee Kyle is on year 35, people. 35 years drug-free. That is really, really incredible stuff, Kyle. I love it every single time I hear that, man. I will never be bored of hearing that, my man. It's absolutely incredible. Congratulations, man. For real. That's as good as it gets. That is as good as it gets. By the way, if anyone is listening to me and you can't understand why you've been blocked, right? Sometimes it happens by accident. We've got about 20 people on this boat who have wrenches. A lot of them are working with touch screens, right? And they're scrolling down, and it is super easy to accidentally block somebody. It happens. If you find yourself blocked, if you cannot leave a message, or if I blocked you and you don't think you ought to be blocked or whatever, do me a favor and send me an email, sober@myyahoo.com. Violet, good to see you. Sober@myyahoo.com, and we will figure out whether or not we can get you unfrozen, so to speak. Calico 26 says, I want to see a Danny mugshot. I have a feeling you will. I have a feeling that you will. And I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of other stuff too. If you caught Aaron did a video about an hour ago. If you guys caught that.
What's he unhidden him for?
What's that?
Nick's unhidden him.
Nick what?
I thought, did you say unhide him, Sasquatch? I hit him and now he's been unhidden.
Well, hit him again. Please, sorry. Thank you, Luis Marie. I appreciate that. Very kind. Very, very kind. BB's.
Yep.
BB says, "Good on you, Yankee Kyle. Super." I agree, BB's. That honestly, that's the top of the food chain. Seventh Son. By the way, we stopped and met Seventh today on the way back into town, which was awesome. We cruised down 10 and met him at the world's largest dinosaur park. We met him out in front of the dinosaurs, and it was awesome. We were able to snap a shot, the three of us, and yeah, it was an honor. Seventh, definitely an honor to meet you, my brother. Really tried to shake my hand, people. I was a little blown away by that. I said, "What the hell are you doing with a handshake?" But Seventh, it was great to see you. All right, people, I'm not going to go too much later this evening, but as I have mentioned, AKA Heather Joy, the injuries to Heather were a little bit more severe than we had originally thought. How can I send you a message to ask you something about a person? My daughter is addicted to heroin. And if you send me a text tonight, I will answer it tonight. Okay? Right in the message, so because I'm going to scroll through all of them, right in the message, heroin/daughter. I will answer you tonight. All right. And just hit out to me tonight on that. And I will reach back out to you, and I promise. Please. And you know what? It's awesome. It really is. Anytime someone is here saying, I wanted to get information, not because I have a problem, but because someone I love does, that is really, I cannot begin to tell you how much that means. It really is absolutely incredible. And there are not enough people who go about this with that attitude. If there were more people and that, had the mindset of, I'm going to go find out whatever I have to in order to make this, in order to be able to help, I think that would, we'd have a lot more people that are an awful lot better off currently. Grrr, I keep buffering. I think I broke my interwebs. I'm so sorry, Reefer. Reefer Ricky is another Aussie. Not another. Boy, you people they're everywhere, man. Yeah, seriously, you guys are like locust. I'm kidding. I love Aussies. 177 people in the live chat, which is awesome. Hey, Tommy, I'm also from AA Ron's channel. Could you explain real quick about the sentence and why he didn't get the 10 plus years? I can. The reason that he didn't get an enhancement, and thank you very much for the super chat. The reason that he did not get an enhancement was because he was being sentenced under old law. So they actually had to go and get sentencing guideline books from 2003 when the crime had taken place. The reason they don't do that all the time, they had to do it in this case because Megan's Law, which was actually a Florida law originally, but it got adopted in almost all of the 50 states, gives the judge the opportunity basically to give somebody a third strike the first time that they commit an SA. If they believe that is severe enough, a person can get life on the first time that they do that without taking someone's life, right? So when that changed, it changed what the judge is allowed to do. So the judge was sentencing under old law. So they brought it up because these are attorneys who are professional and they're very used to, all right, here are the enhancements, here are the special circumstances, right, that we're going to argue. In this case, she said, you can argue those. It doesn't do any good. I can't take any of those into account. I cannot go above the 30. You can't give somebody an enhancement under old law. Stone Lux, thank you so much. I love that I found this channel. And you, Captain, through AA Ron's channel. Well, Amy, I'm very glad that you found us too. I mean that. I really do. I mean that. Daniel, about dry ice fuel. Daniel, if you have an idea on this, if I were you, I don't know that I would put that out for the entire world. Welcome, all new crew members. This family is understanding of people whom are on medical treatments versus addiction and trauma and mental health. All relates back to this content. It's a great point. It really is an excellent point. Thank you. A lot of people who just got here probably haven't heard all this. I am absolutely a proponent of medical assisted treatment. I am also a proponent of people who use one drug that is a lot less damaging to them than another. You hear people say all the time, that guy traded, methadone for heroin. Well, that's a hell of a trade. It's a hell of a trade. It gives people an opportunity to get their life back. And if you're somebody that says, well, that person's not really sober because they do this, this, or this, please have that conversation somewhere else. I'll delete you. Plain and simple. I'm not going to have anybody's biases keep anybody from doing something that could save their life. Fentanyl is killing people at over 300 people a day. So if somebody needs medical assisted treatment to get off that, God bless them. Medical assisted treatment works. It's good stuff. Question. Do I have a question about Judge Almeida? Can she get fair gamed? Oh, yeah. And can anything be done about it? She absolutely can get fair gamed. And in the past, I would imagine it would have been a lock. But I think that right now, with everything going on, I think that the church is probably hyper aware of the fact that the whole world is watching. I really believe that. Hold on. Scarlet Cook says, I keep trying to tell y'all that there was an alternate David Miscavige message. The account was 8 years old and had commented only 3 times, said, hope Danny gets the help he needs since our auditing didn't. And you know what, Scarlet? He didn't do any auditing. From the research that we did, the guy didn't do any auditing. Like, he was not moving up the bridge in any way, shape, or form within the cult. He wasn't. And the reason that they gave was his wild alcohol abuse made him, not someone that they could work with. And that just never got taken care of. They are evil Church of Scientology, that is. I saw much of the objectives and TRs in motion when I worked at the Narcanon training flagship. They destroy lives. Amy, I really would like to talk to you. Please send me an email. You worked at Narcanon's training flagship. Please reach out to me, Amy. I would like to talk to you about that. If you could send me an email and put in the deal what you're talking about, I would love to talk to you about Narcanon training. Boy, would I like to talk to you about that. That would be awesome. So please. Tim, thank you so much. He says, I wish they'd give me a metal bat and Danny Masterson in a room. Yeah. I you know something, Tim? There are people that probably don't understand the sentiment. I completely understand the sentiment. I really do. And there are going to be a lot of people who feel the exact same way, who are going to be living 6 doors down from this man. I said this on a video yesterday, but the fear that he enjoyed so much watching in the face of other people, he's going to have that on his face for the rest of his life. And for the people who say that, this isn't justice, to me, that's justice. When he sat down, he being Danny Masterson, when he sat down with Jane Doe 1, the deal that he made was he would be willing to apologize and take responsibility, but he wanted to hear how this damaged her. So she had to sit down and tell the story to him and another person. And yeah, he grooved to it. By all accounts, this is somebody that really enjoys knowing the damage and the pain that he's inflicted. He's a sick SOB. That's why I do not have a whole lot of problems seeing this guy get what he got. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. And for those who say I'm having too much fun with it, sorry. Meet the Jane Does. All right, go meet him in person. Hug him. Then get back to me. You know what? There are a lot of people that are asking about this. There really are. This is a conversation that a lot of people are having. And you know what? That's a good thing. It really is. This is the best thing that could happen to all parties involved. If you're somebody that is that views the Church of Scientology the way that I think all of us here do, then there's a real benefit to what just happened, right? Absolutely a huge benefit. Thanks for all you do. Came over from Aaron's page. I'm so glad that you came over, Amy. I really am. And please do email me. I would love to pick your brain. You don't have to come on unless you want to, but I would love to talk to you about that. That really is just like right in the wheelhouse. Can we do this for Heather Joy, please, real quick? Fat Cat says, what are the chances you may know someone on the inside where Danny may be sent? Well, isn't that a really funny question? I'm not kidding you. That question has been asked of me 20 times in the last week. No kidding. People who said, hey, man, you know anybody that might be where? Truth of the matter is, I probably would not know anybody that's going to be in that system. However, I do know a lot of people who would. Thank you, Russ. Appreciate you, Wood. Eli29 says, if you haven't already done so, please hit the like button for Tommy. Thank you. I would love that. We did yesterday get 3,500 likes on a video, which I think probably ties the previous 6 months combined. So that was pretty cool. I was pretty happy about that. Gary Mackey says the ear is back. Not exactly sure what that means, but several actually. Tam Stanley says, hi, Alan. What prison will Masterson go to? Ramona, we're going to find that out in the next couple of weeks. He's going to go through now an intake process. And that intake process is going to determine his yard points. And then they're going to determine after that where he is going to go. That's when we're going to find out exactly. What footwear did Danny wear with his suit? I'm so glad you asked this, Lisa. I mean it. And hold on. I'd be surprised if Danny Masterson survives more than a few years in prison. Lord Kiss Freak, I will be too, but not for the same reason. I think he's going to drop the body, as Scientologists would say, right? They believe in reincarnation, and they believe that they come back to be a Scientologist again. Well, he has worn out the body. He's worn out the name. The reputation's destroyed. If they were to let him out of prison tomorrow, He couldn't go back and rejoin his career. His life is over, and it's really over, right? Because he's incarcerated. But no matter what happens, this man's life is done as he knew it. And as a Scientologist, I think he's going to drop the body. I think he's going to decide that this is what I'm looking at for the next, 30 years. I can't do this. He winked at his family, Tim, about 5 times that I counted. He was doing that a lot. Will he be on California's sex offender locator? You betcha. And it was one of the only times that you heard Danny talk in the sentencing. The judge. You're not breaking any rules saying that she's in your prayers, full of hope. In fact, I'm glad that you said that. She's in my prayers too. Nothing wrong with that. Now, Danny Masterson's shoes. He was wearing New Balance shoes that are only sold in the joint. I've never seen them anywhere else. They have Velcro instead of laces, and they're not issue. Some people had written that this was he had prison issue shoes on. He did not. He bought those. Those are not prison issue. He paid for those. However, he bought them that much too big. Literally from his heel to the back of the shoe was about an inch or two. Really odd. It was the first thing I noticed, actually. Being beyond sick, there is not enough time for any hope. And I don't say that about anybody but Danny Masterson. You can say that about the general rule, and everybody. This is considered fact. They can't be treated. I want you to think about this for a second, right? Oldness, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean it. Let's say you're a heterosexual man or woman, right? And right now, I want you to think about what it is that you find attractive, the things that entice you sexually. If I were to say to you, okay, starting tomorrow, you are no longer allowed to find women attractive. That's done. No more that. You just have to stop that as of tomorrow, and you're going to have to change. You'd say, I can't do that. It's not something I can do. I am of the firm belief that the sickos are wired improperly, and I don't think people like him can be helped. I don't. I think there are people like him who have decided that they're going to go and put themselves in places. I saw an interview once with a guy that was fascinating, who said they should have never let me out. He lives in the sticks. There's nobody around because he knows who and what he is. But the vast majority of people are not like that. So they need to be either kept away from people, or maybe just removed from the planet. Don't new prisoners go to Dual and Tracy first for processing? Gabriel, I'm not 100% sure where he is going to be sent for processing. I don't know. I've heard from people who know the system pretty well. I've heard 2 different places. That was one of them. I don't know where he's going to go. What I do know is this: he's going to go through the intake process, and they are going to have to figure out, what his custody level is going to be, and then they're going to ship him. And as soon as we know, you're going to know, I promise. And I'm on it. It's something that I am going to be researching daily. Will they keep him in the Cali prison system, says Ramona Blue. Ramona, as of right now, that is the plan. Now, sometimes they will move somebody, and there is an SA program that they can do where they will send, offenders of that kind. They will ship all of them out to other yards in different parts of the country. I don't see that happening yet. Usually it's once they find out that they cannot protect the person anymore, kind of a thing. That's usually when those things happen. But as of right now, they have said nothing about doing anything other than just putting him in the California system. Wolfgang Productions just posted a sketch called Home Sweet Home. Perfect timing, Wolfgang. We are home sweet home. And we got really lucky on the way back. We had the traffic was great. We didn't catch any of the traffic jams, and we did really well. We skipped a huge part of 10 that they told us to avoid. We did pretty well. Why did prison start calling everything Bob Barker, like Bob Barker shoes, or is this a Minnesota jail thing? And I'm so glad that you brought this up, because I was just talking. Another Aussie. You see this, Alan? See what you've done? Did you see what you've done? They're everywhere. No, I'm so glad that you're here. Oh, Ellen, I can't imagine how that's got to feel to see those letters. I really can't. Uh, I really can't. It's 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 just really messed up. It really is, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. That had to be hell. And the reason they started calling everything Bob Barker is there is a company called Bob Barker, and they make prison stuff. They make prison soap. They make prison shoes. They make boxers and towels. I mean, they toothbrush, toothpaste. Bob Barker makes everything. You've been clean since 2011. Good for you, Kelly. How good is that? Huh? Since 2011. Damn. Well done. In fact, you know what? In fact, let's do this here real quick since we haven't done this yet today. This is for you. That is impressive, Kelly. Well played. Well done. It's the Lifeboat Official Participation Trophy. And you know it's official because I said it's official. And this is the official participation trophy. Well done. That is honestly, that's fantastic. I mean, when you're past that 10-year mark, man, you know, you're in really good shape. Thank you, Russ. Russ says, in the state prison system, Danny will most likely drop his body. Somebody will help him, and they usually send newbies to Donovan in sending for processing, then onto another one. Bob Barker owned or started a nonprofit, and there is everything. Bob Barker, like if you get the Chuck Taylors, they call them Bob Barker Chucks. I was telling Alan about this earlier, actually, but everything is Bob Barker. And thank you, Russ. Russ, do me a favor and send me another email. I'd like to get you on, Russ, because you're very well versed in the California system. I think we could do, I think you could probably answer a lot of questions here better than I could. Please reach out to me, bud, and we'll try to set that up. The Bush family owns Keefe. You know what, man? I've been told that 500 times. That probably isn't going to mean anything to anybody here, but I've been told that too, Russ, that they have a huge stake in Keefe. Keefe makes a lot of products that you buy in prison, and it's always food-related stuff like coffee, the big one being coffee. I mean, I'm not kidding you. There's millions of dollars getting spent just on Keefe coffee. They sell a lot of it. But Keefe also sells refried beans, like anything that you can cook in a prison cell. You know what, Joseph? I can. And now I don't have the same perspective, Joseph. I really don't. But the shock. I remember, and I was not, I lived a nice life. I didn't live a famous Hollywood life. You know what I mean? But it's one of those situations where, and Russ will tell you, the first time you go in and they bring you into a unit and you are the entertainment. You walked in the door and every single head in the place turns to look at you and they're sizing you up in 2 seconds. And the first thing they're asking themselves is, think this guy's an SA? Everybody in the room, think he's an SA? Does this guy look like one? And then they're going to roll up to you and go, hey, man, did you just come in? Yeah. Okay. You got 72 hours to get your paperwork. We'd like to take a look at it. And you walk in knowing your paperwork's good. And that's still a feeling you can't wrap your brain around until you've done. Where you walk in and just go, good God, this is my life. And you walk into a unit that might be 90 to 100 feet long, 200 feet long tops on a big one. And you walk in and they bolt the doors. And now you got 160 people, right, that are going to all be living in that little room at all times. And bad things happen. And you take that many alpha males and put them in one spot, nothing good happens. Russ says, yep, check them. And the second he walks in, I promise you, people, it's the first thought. Everybody's looking, going, do I need to, should I be checking this? I call it the California Department of Corruption and Racketeering, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. Amy, I doubt you're the only one. I really doubt you're the only one. Lady Crispin, long time no see. Good to see you. Carousel Delirium says, the letters brought bile in my throat. I understand where you other warriors of SA are coming from. and give all the best wishes, hugs, and kisses. Awesome. And you know what? There's a lot of people who struggle with addiction, who understand that more than any of us will, that have all been victims in their life, and there's not enough people that stand up. Sorry, hold on one sec, people. Wolfgang says, Tommy, because of the Lifeboat channel talking about eating disorders, I put a interview someone made of me on my channel. Didn't realize ED was part of the channel. Absolutely it is. It's, you know why? It is the same phenomenon. It is. It's the same phenomenon. This is something that I think is hard to understand for some people in recovery, but drugs are not the problem, right? The problem is something that goes on with us, and the drugs are our attempt to cope with that problem. Eating disorders are people trying to cope with the problems that we're using drugs for. They use an eating disorder for. That's what happens. And it's the same with people who self-harm, right? All of these things are an attempt to make sense of things that we can't make sense with, right? So if the person is using a blade to bring on endorphins, it's just another form of tripping, the brain the brain chemistry. We're going to flip a switch and get some brain, juice, brain drugs released. Some people do that through binging and purging, and some people do that through self-harm. But regardless, the mechanism is the same. It's us trying to deal with a defect. There's a defect, and the best way that we know how to deal with it is drugs or eating or self-harm. Some people just use food as a comfort, and there are people that when they stop, trauma coping mechanisms. Thank you, KB. It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is, and it doesn't much matter what that is. Naomi Hale says, my drug of choice is sugar. The biggest addiction on planet Earth has always been sugar. Now this thing has got to be in the running, right? The cell phone is in the running. DJ Daddy-O, Mr. T, good to see you, my brother. I was talking about you yesterday, man. Good to see you. Tell your son I said hello, please, too, if you could. Carousel Delirium says, numbing the pain until we are faced to look at it all in the eyes. That's right. And that's what we're trying to do. We are all looking for the dopamine hit. Many ways to do that. Exercise, right? Exactly. Food, drugs. There are so many ways. But in every single one of these situations, what we have to do is get to the bottom of it, right? We have to find out what we're treating. Why are we taking drugs? Why are we eating? Why whatever the case may be. And if you're going, I don't know how to do that, show up on some of the other shows that we do, like the 5 a.m.s and the 5 p.m.s, because that's what we talk about, right? That is what we talk about. Yeah, cell phones and sugar, the two biggest addictions on the planet today, to be sure. Sadly, fentanyl is probably number 3. There's a brand new drug they have not given a name to that they tested for the first time, apparently the other day in Pittsburgh, and it is the strongest fentanyl that they have ever tested. I mean, the strongest opiate they've ever tested. It's stronger than fentanyl, and it's stronger than nitazines. Really bad stuff. We don't know exactly what it is yet, but it's out there. The first test just happened. Andrew Fedorov. Wow, so many people here, and your channel has grown. It did. It grew by 1,200 yesterday. We have been blessed amazingly. You spoke on Aaron's channel about masters maybe having to pay rent to someone outside. Do you still think that's a possible, probable? Yeah, absolutely it is, Ann. Absolutely it is. If he gets, so we don't know where he's going. We don't know what the custody level is going to be. We don't know any of that. But if he gets to a yard, and the person who runs that yard doesn't have a problem with him being there as long as he pays, then he's going to pay. I promise. And it will require his family sending money to other people. It's not like he can just write a check. He's going to have to get his family intimately involved in sending money to people. And it's going to be an uncomfortable thing for his family. I don't take any joy in the fact that his family has to deal with this. I really don't. I mean, they didn't do it. I think in some, I won't even go down that road. I won't, but his family didn't do it. Yes, I got you, Ann. I knew what you meant. You know what, Alan? Thank you. That's a beautiful comment. That's a beautiful comment. Thank you, Ellen. Yeah, we are all keeping Heather in our thoughts and prayers. And you know what? I'm actually going to end with that. I would like everybody to please keep Heather in our thoughts and prayers. Who is paying for all of his attorneys? He is, Ramona Blue. He is paying for all of his attorneys. He had a very sizable estate, and he is still getting a money from things that he worked on. He's still going to be getting paid for a long time, and that money right now is all going to an attorneys. Happy to report I appear to be healing from the C+ math. Oh, thank God. That is SPTV Tattoo Warrior. Thank God. We are glad to hear that. The C+ math is back. It really is. Heather, take it easy and slow, hon. We're praying for you. Don't push yourself, right? We'll keep everything going until the time comes. Okay. So please, just don't push yourself, Heather. We want to make sure that you're healthy. All right. All right, everybody. Coco, Renee, Herbert, Tommy, Captain, my captain. Love you to pieces. What a nice thing to say. Really bad day to be. Yeah, DJ Bologna Sandwich, huh? Thanks for today. Live from South Dakota. Thank you so much, Coco. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's awesome. All right. I am going to be back tomorrow, people. We are going to be getting back to a lifeboat schedule of some kind. We will be doing a bare minimum of one show a day. For the remainder of the time that I'm on vacation, there will be at least one show a day. And I'll be doing that until Heather is healed up right as rain. All right. But we're not going to let, and don't send me an email and tell me I need a vacation. This is a vacation. I talked about it with Alan at length. I'm going to do a show a day until she's feeling better. And then we're going to do some of our silliness. The stroming is liquid. So I have reached out. Well, I haven't. Technically, I have not, but I am reaching out. I'm writing a letter telling them that I need 2 cans because they left them in the sun, but it is liquid. You shake it. There's nothing in there. I'd like to bring it down and just let Ray maybe drink it.
Yeah, that's good. Shock us.
And he said there was nothing to it. I mean, he made it sound like it was milk.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just have him drink it. That might work. San Diego. Oh, my bad. That's way better. I'm sorry to anybody I'm sorry. I just love San Diego. It's one of my favorite places, man. San Diego is awesome. The weather's perfect. It really is at all times. It's perfect. It was so lovely to touch base. Yeah, DJ Daddy-O, it's great to see you, bud. It really is. All right, everyone. Lord Kiss Freak. Oh, I thought that was you. As it turns out, it was Lady Crispin. Maybe you should eat Vegemite instead. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe you should eat it for me, Fiona. I know you're a Vegemite fan. Maybe you'd like to.
You will be eating it.
You hear this crazy Aussie? I will not be eating any of that before he gets home. I promise you. Recovering from a horrible car accident that fractured my neck. Oh, my goodness. And then lost my mom to cancer 10 hours later. Wow. Amy, I'm so sorry for your loss. My goodness. Your DNA is in the Smithsonian, Reefer Ricky. Wow, anorexia is in my DNA. I have over 12 markers for this disease. Was part of a worldwide study, and now my DNA is in the Smithsonian. Well, I hope and pray that you're, with that knowledge that you're able to control that. That is a horrendous illness, and there are again a lot of people that try to cope with the struggles of life through that, and it's tough. Thank you, Kelly, and that's going to be not quite the last. Schmoopy. Great job covering. Get some rest. I promise. I can't tell you how much I love the fact that your name is Schmoopy. I really do. I love that. Thank you, Schmoopy. That's as much fun as Snotface. for totally different reasons, but that's as much fun as Snotface. Wondering if you can help me. Was severely abused as a child. 9/11 operator for 32 years. So I have PTSD. Take Xanax for well over 15 years through a doctor, but now they now want me off due to opioid for pain. Linda, let me start. Excuse me. Let me start by saying that this is a really hard addiction. There's a lot of people on the boat that can attest to that. Xanax is a benzodiazepine. You cannot quit cold turkey from a benzo that you've been taking for the amount of time that you have without risking your life, right? You can go into have seizures that will kill you. Like, this is no joke. So if you're planning on trying to get off that, then the doctor should be structuring some kind of a taper down system for you. Send me, reach out and to us and send me an email, and we can correspond on this. If you're going to be trying to get off of Xanax that you've been taking for a long time, this is going to be a very slow process. It's going to take a long time, and you got to be ready for that as a fact. Because if you think you're going to rush this, it's not going to work. I've never seen it work. I really haven't. It's benzos are a scary addiction. Yeah, you're absolutely right, human. It's going to be a rough journey. The good news is this: there'll be a lot of people here who have a lot of experience with this, who can talk you through it. And if you show up for some of the shows that we do, where we actually talk about the nuts and bolts stuff of staying sober, we'll talk to you about how that works. Cat's ear in the corner. Yeah, the squirrel is. We can usually give her a bit of a turn. There you go. She was just so happy to see us come home. I'm telling you. She's a great cat. She really is. I get really lucky with Squirrel. She's just a great animal. I missed her tremendously. You need professionals to help kick benzos. There's no question. Don't ever try to quit a benzodiazepine on your own. Everybody hear that? You cannot try to quit benzos on your own. Quitting cold turkey from alcohol or benzos can kill you, right? Violet Gypsy says, I got off one benzo by doing another and tapering off the second one. That is how almost everyone gets off benzos. Usually if you have a doctor assist you with this, they're going to take you to a different benzo, and they're going to take it down really, really low on that. And then they're going to go to a weaker benzo, and they're going to take you down on that. And they may do that 2 times. They may do that 3 times. That's the trick. Yes, Todd. This guy with me is from Australia as well. Yeah. Alan. Couldn't let him ride. I mean, couldn't let him drive. I had to do all the driving because the guy can't tell his right from his left. You know what I mean? They can't figure out what side of the road to drive on. It's really an issue. Good night. You will email me. Thank you. If I asked you to email me, Amy, Ann, please shoot me an email. Please, please do. She says, I'm sure Todd loves Vegemite. Yes, well, I mean, there are people who probably like gasoline. That doesn't mean that I intend to consume any of it. All right, people, I will be back tomorrow, and we will be going. Tara got a phone. That means that we can, reach out, please. Let's get back on that then if there's an ability to get a hold of her, eh? Let's see what we can do. All righty, people, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. That guy who eats Vegemite is Alan Ballantyne. And this. Oh, she's doing the foot clean. That's a cat in a basket. Good night, everybody. We love you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. You're a good